Dennis Sperling.
In the city where the lights don't sleep, Uncle D got the vibe so deep. Representing men strong and free. Dennis Sperling's the king of the spree. In the streets where the rhythm flows, black men rising, that's how it goes. Uncle D got the truth to show. In his heart, that's where the fire glows. Late night tuning, light up the stream. Dennis Sperling, wisdom gleam. Voices whisper truth and insight. In his podcast, feel the light. Harmony in every word. Truth and laughter you've heard. Well, that's alright. Wave after wave of smooth delight. Dennis brings the dark to light. That's the blizzard, baby! Share the tales unfold. The stories pour like morning gold. Feeling the wisdom inside me. Subscribing like time after time.
Black men, black men, black men. I want to salute you. Your incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from. We are doing great for ourselves. So you should salute yourself. Shout out to all the brothers out there, whether you're a truck driver or an engineer, whether you're an electrician or garbage man, a doctor, a lawyer. If you're a hard-working brother, if you fresh out the penitentiary, but you on your grind and you doing it legal and you trying to make amends for yourself, man, I salute you too, brothers. God bless you. This is Uncle D, and you know, I'm out.
Oh man, yeah. All right, welcome to the broadcast. Shout out to everybody out there, baby. Yeah. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Dennis Sperling, also known as the Blizzard King, and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel. I'm humbly appreciative of being here 5 years now. This will be my 5th year on YouTube, and I've spent some time on Facebook. I have quite a Facebook following. Shout out to all the people who have followed me on Facebook. But look, man, today we're going to continue a conversation that I've been having for the past few months related to the election. I just think it's important. I just think it's important because there is a lot going on. You have a lot of very angry people right now. I actually put a few invitations out to some folks to come in. They are not very happy. I actually have one now, and they're angry about some of the things that are going on as a result of the Donald Trump's win. But here's the thing, elections have consequences, and these consequences are leading to things that they don't like. Specifically, one of the main things, well, let's start with this. First, shout out to Broken Blade, shout out to my man Mark the Freelancer, shout out to my man Jamal Smith, Mr. 43TX, shout out to the whole Wrench Mob. Somebody type Wrench Mob in the chat room. Somebody type Wrench Mob in the chat room. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Cash App there at the bottom just in case you all decide you like something I say. And shout out to everybody who's going to contribute to the super chat ahead of time or the Cash App or whatever it is, man. I just want to make sure I do the formalities first. But people are angry. They're angry about this. Let me show you. This is what they're mad about. You got folks, man, they are mad because they say he didn't put his hand on the Bible. Yeah. You got people mad at it. I mean, they are mad. Here's another one too. I like this one. Let me show you this. Lady mad. Look how that woman is looking at that man, man. Look at that. And we all want our woman to look at us like that. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that, boy. She been through it with him. The little boy right there. And he looked like he bad. I can tell by the shape of his head that he is a bad little boy. Look at that. I can tell. I can look at him right now. That's a bad little boy. But anyway, you got people who are angry that Trump is doing the things he said he's going to do. Shout out to my man in between flights. Look, let me explain something to you about this channel. If you all haven't noticed, and I've specifically told you, I'm going to tell you again, I tell you all to vote your interest, okay? I tell you guys each and every time, vote your interest, do what's in your best interest. If you're a Democrat and they do things that you like and benefit you and your family, do that. Shout out to my man Jamal Smith. Thank you so much, you guys. That's what I tell you. I'm not one of these. I don't tell grown men what to do. I don't tell grown women what to do. I tell you to vote your interest. Nobody's gonna ever say that Uncle D, the Blizzard King, also known as Dennis Sperling, tried to sway them to vote for Republican or vote for Democrat. I tell you, vote your interest. It just so happens the past couple of times we've had presidential elections, I voted for Donald Trump. And the reason I voted for Donald Trump is because, number one, I didn't like the way the direction of the country was headed. Number two, I realized that I paid less taxes under George Bush than I did under Barack Obama. I paid less taxes under Donald Trump than I did under Joe Biden. And I would like to keep the majority of the money that I make. And that's it, period. That's it. And so, well, that's my overriding position. You know, I'm kind of like a one-issue voter. Nevertheless, I did see the direction that this country is heading, and many of us didn't like the direction that the country was heading. Okay, and so we opted to vote for somebody who we thought would get us back on track. Shout out to my man Red Sigma. Now, here's something. We're gonna start with the petty. Somebody type petty. We're not going to even get into the actual policies because Donald Trump signed a whole slew of executive orders yesterday. Shout out to my man Red Sigma. You guys, has anybody ever heard of the SWAC? It's the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Somebody type SWAC in the chat room. All my HBCU people, you know about the SWAC, you know about the MEAC. Well, in the SWAC, they got this tiny school called Mississippi Valley State. Okay, not Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State. Well, anyway, Mississippi Valley State has a band, and the band got invited to go to play at the inauguration of Donald Trump, and you had black folks mad.
This is the Mean Green Marching Machine.
This is the band playing right here, man. And you have black people angry
historically black colleges and universities at the 60th presidential
that just like they were angry with Nelly and who else were they? They were angry with Nelly and Snoop Dogg and Rick Ross and all these other. They're angry. Yeah, that's right. Jerry Rice attended Mississippi Valley State. These people are mad that this band, which at this point has an opportunity to get some worldwide recognition, played at the presidential inauguration. You have some black people who literally wanted this little tiny band to miss out on this opportunity just because they're black. I want you to think about that. And then you literally have black people who are upset at the fact that these folk went to, well, shout out to Mississippi Valley State. And I'm happy they did that. You wanted them to boycott this opportunity. This actually puts this band on a higher level. They may be called up to do other shows. This is how they make money. This is how they fund the school. You have black folk bad at this. And see, my thing is this. What if Donald Trump hadn't invited any black folks? Much less the band. What would you do then? Would you? I mean, you can't. This guy can't win. Look, let me say it like this, man. I am 100% all the way in support of my country. And that is these United States of America. Number one, because I live here. Number two, because my family lives here. And whatever's good for the United States is eventually going to be good for me. So I support my country. Shout out to everybody who has a sense enough to love, realize that we don't really have anywhere else to go like that. Not all of us. The black folks in Africa don't want the black folks from America coming back over there. They've made that clear. Okay, not in droves. It might take your money. They might take the elite. They'll go over there and crown you king, crown you crown prince. Okay, but they otherwise they don't want you back over there, man. They do not want you coming back over there. Period. All right. You don't really have anywhere else to go, and you shouldn't want anywhere else to go. I mean, we have people literally killing themselves to get to the United States, or dying trying. They want the children born here. So why is it that we always have to be the anti-Americans? Why is it that black people always have to be the standouts, you know, when it comes to reaping the benefits of what America has to offer? Why is that? Why is it that we have a contingent amongst the blacks, in our community, that tells us, oh no, it's never, we're never the in crowd. We're never, and in reality, we sit at the center of America, at the crossroads of American culture and history, and everything else is good for America. I'm just saying, I love my country. And it took me traveling around the world and going to other countries, including Europe, to realize just how much I love the United States of America. And that being said, I want whoever is the president to be successful. And in successful, that means I want our people to prosper. I want our people to be healthy. I want our people to be safe. I want our people to be able to enjoy the things that human beings enjoy, and that's family and security and prosperity. Okay? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that Donald Trump at this point is the best man for the job. And anybody who doesn't like that, you just foolish at this point, man. Shout out to everybody who understands where I'm coming from. You got to be 100% on the side of your squad. Okay, period. You need to be 100% on the side of your team. Now, what I want to do at this point is I want to take the opportunity to kind of break down some of these crazy things that people are saying. Let's go over to my community tab. Shout out to everybody who hangs out with me during the week and goes over to my community tab on YouTube. I kind of use that like an Instagram page. Let's go take a look at this, and I posted some things up. Number one, Donald Trump's son, Barron, watches many of the Manosphere podcasts. And it was because of that he convinced his pop, Donald Trump, and mind you, Barron is probably like 19 years old, but he convinced his dad to go on Joe Rogan's show. And he did, and that kind of put him over the top. And so he is aware of what we talk about right here on the Manosphere. Shout out to the Manosphere, shout out to the Black Manosphere. Shout out to all the men who've been doing this for years, putting the word out. One of the major things that we complain about is what? Child support. Somebody type child support in the chat room. Somebody type child support in the chat room. Come on now. Somebody type child support in the chat room. Yeah, man. Child support has been a major reason that has given rise to the Manosphere. Really, women taking advantage of the child support system to maintain these financial reigns over men. Okay? Now, it's my understanding, and some people are saying, well, we hadn't seen any proof, right? But it's my understanding is that Donald Trump intends to get with Congress and amend the tax code, okay? And as I read this post, I'm like, wow, that sounds great. This is intended to give the person who pays taxes a tax break, a child credit, and I think it's up to $6,000. Is that it? Up to $6,000 per child. Is that it? So let's say you pay $500 a month in tax in child support, and you get a $6,000 a year credit. Let's say you have multiple kids, and I'm not a tax lawyer. I don't do tax. Matter of fact, I have other folk help me with my taxes, but over the years I have at least. But what I'm saying is, for many years, women who are the custodial parents and who receive the tax support, they don't pay taxes on the child, or they don't pay taxes on the child support. In addition to that, they receive the tax credit. So they are almost double dipping, okay? And so in this double dipping, the man gets nothing. He pays the taxes and he doesn't get the tax. He doesn't get the child credit. Now we're gonna flip the script. You can pay child support, but you also get the tax credit. Now, again, this is not really that complicated to do. This is just a minor amendment to the tax code. It already has like 400 different laws. That's not that big of a deal. Nevertheless, you got women going crazy about this, man. They are angry, super angry. They are mad. You know, and I'm looking in the comments section, because what does this do? First of all, the only reason that women have the power that they do is because they have the children. Okay. The only reason the matriarch, when men ruled the world, when it was called a patriarchy, men got everything in a divorce, men were in charge. Now, when you have laws set up to put women in charge, they get the children, and along with the children, the government said, well, let's give them the money too. Then the women are in charge. So by taking the children away from the money, or at least or separating making sure that the men are able to have some more of the money, of their money that will be used to provide for the children, in this case, a tax break, it gives them more power. So what does that mean? That means now your baby mama has to talk to you, because you will be literally getting a larger tax break. The average person pays about $400 a month in child support, and you get a $6,000. And look, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't do taxes, but last I checked, it was about a $6,000 a year tax credit. So that's $12,000, and you are only paying $400 a month. So what that tells me is that, man, golly, man, you paying $4,800 a year in taxes, in child support, and you're getting a $6,000 tax credit. Where you actually put a tax incentive to pay child support. If you really think about it, it offsets each other. You're gonna pay the taxes anyway, and now you're in a situation where you get a tax credit for it. But a lot of women are angry because, see, what's gonna happen is it forces the woman to have to talk to the man. She no longer has a credit. She needs to talk to him. She needs to, hey, well, look, I'm gonna pay this year. Let me claim them on my taxes this year so I get that tax credit. And he might say no. You can use that as a leverage tool. No longer are women able to just do what they want to do with the money. I think it's a good thing, man. I think it's a wonderful thing. I don't see anything wrong with it. A good friend of mine, Javon Clark, you guys, shout out to Javon Clark. Y'all know Javon Clark. That's my Carolina cousin right there, man. Shout out to Javon Clark. Brother Javon had this to say about the subject. Listen, he's very similar to what I'm saying. Listen.
Let me tell you why Trump is doing the income tax child support situation like this. It forces a man and a woman to have to talk. Women have been getting $10, $12, $6, $5, $15,000 of income tax from carrying children. Now, those women are going to have to talk to those men. Those men and those women are going to have a conversation. They're going to have to sit down. They're going to have to talk about co-parenting. See, money talks, bullshit runs a marathon. That woman going to have to call her baby daddy up and say, hey, look, I want to file the child. And that baby daddy said, well, look, you know, you got me on child support. And she going to say, well, I'll take you off child support if you do this, this, and this. And if you hold to it, you let me file the taxes, I'll give you this, blah, 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 blah. It takes all the power out of the woman's hand. It forces them to have to talk. Ain't no woman going to be getting $300 a month for, let's say 12 months. That's only adds up to $3,600 a month. And she going to risk losing a $6,000 earned income child credit just for $3,600. The math don't add up.
Yeah.
So now mama and daddy going to have to talk. I love Trump. I love Trump.
Y'all hear that, man? So, so things are definitely beginning to turn. Now, here's the thing. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. You're lost. All you folks out there who are angry, you lost. Somebody chopped y'all lost. Take your L. Take your L. Suck it up. Do better next time. So that's pretty much it. Now, there's another situation, and I'm going to bring this up. Trump is ending automatic birthright citizenship. Now, what I want you guys to understand is this. We call them anchor babies, right? Isn't that the term for them? Somebody who's illegal, they come over here and they have a child. They're illegal, but because they have a child who has automatic American citizenship, the government doesn't want to put them out because who's going to take care of this child? Who's going to take care of this kid if we send mom or dad home? So they call it an anchor baby. It allows a person to stay in the country. And that is a loophole in the in our immigration system. Now, of course, Tom Homan said we're going to send them all home. That's how we're going to keep families together. But nevertheless, Donald Trump signed an executive order challenge, I would say, ending birthright citizenship. I don't think he can do that outright like that. Nevertheless, it has set up a court case. It is set up. As a matter of fact, I believe they've already filed a lawsuit. Now, birthright citizenship was not always the law of the land, okay? It is a derivative of the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was enacted right after slavery to make sure that the children of slaves, the former slaves, were citizens. See, remember, African Americans who were in slavery were not considered citizens. They were considered property. Now, they were considered citizens solely for the purpose of a census, and not even a census, but realistically, the senators and the congressmen in the House, really the House of Representatives, depending on how many people you have in your country, in your state, is going to determine how many representatives you have in the lower house, called the House of Representatives. So let's say you live in South Carolina, okay? And you may not have a lot of white people, not as many white people who will be considered citizens as they do in New York, but you have maybe 10,000 blacks who are slaves, okay? And so for the purposes of that, they came to an agreement and said, well, look, we won't count these Africans or our slaves as you got to count them because they still, use the resources and the roads and they contribute to the economy. So we'll count them as 3/5 of a person or 3/5 of a citizen. So if we get, 3 of them together, 5 of them together, that'll equal a certain whole number of persons. And so that's where the whole 3/5 came in. Somebody typed 3/5 in the chat room, 3/5 of a person. And so now that helped the southern states, which had less white people, to begin to increase their numbers so they can get more representatives in the House of Representatives. Each state gets 2 senators, but the House of Representatives determines your population. That's why A state like Montana has 2 senators and California has 2 senators, but California has a whole lot more representatives, House of Representatives than a Montana. Nevertheless, the problem arose because these people, these children born in the United States, now that they were no longer slaves, they were no longer property, but they weren't citizens. So what are their children? Their children are not citizens and they're not property. So what status are they? And so the Congress, shortly after slavery ended, enacted the 14th Amendment, and it was meant so that children of slaves who were not considered citizens before the Civil War could be assured citizenship. It was never meant to apply to foreign-born non-citizens and illegals, okay? That came about because there was an interpretation of the law that says those people who have, basically it says this, and I'm paraphrasing, you have automatic citizenship if you're born in this country and of this country's jurisdiction, okay? And this country has jurisdiction over you. Now, if a person is here illegally, why would the country have jurisdiction? You see, I mean, you're in this country, but we don't have any control over you in that regard, in a legal sense of that. So what Donald Trump has done is he's enacted or signed into law a executive order and eliminated birthright citizenship. And you got people up in arms. I mean, there are going to be cases, but see, the thing is, one of the smartest things he's done, instead of messing around with it, go ahead and sign it now, let them challenge it, and 2 or 3 years from now, it'll be up at the Supreme Court and it'll be heard. And, we'll finally have an answer to that. But what that's going to do is it's going to end the whole anchor baby process. You got people mad about it. And I understand why they're mad about it, because people come here, they have a child, and then they go home with the child, or they stay here with the child. You can't put them out. The child gets benefits. The parents have never contributed to Social Security or anything like that. And it's wrong. It's super wrong. Okay. So that's here's another one here. You got migrants. There's this lady right here. And I don't relish in anybody's tears, and I don't relish in anybody's pain or anything like that. But apparently you have this lady who was down in Mexico waiting for her number to be called. She had an appointment at 1 p.m. on January 20th. And about 20 minutes before she was supposed to meet with the immigration officials to see if she could get through, the whole app crashed and everything was shut down. And so, the mainstream media, being Johnny on the spot, jumped right on in there and took that video and took that photo and got her, recorded her crying and whatnot. And see, here's a problem that I don't think they understand. And I want you all to listen to me very carefully. Americans don't care. We don't really care about I know this is harsh to say this, but I don't know if you have noticed, but this is the same America black folks have been telling you about for hundreds of years. This is the America that we know about. America has run out of compassion. And at the point where America has run out of compassion, it's a wrap. Now, I think I can speak on behalf of most black folks who were raised here, especially my shout out to my foundational black American brothers. We and sisters, we know how this country is. We've heard the stories about how this country is. White folks get mad. They don't like something to have. They lost the whole war and commenced Jim Crow thereafter. Because they were mad. They're not taking no L's from you. You think you're going to come to these folk country and invade it like that? And here's the cold part about it. People can't understand why black folks are lockstep with white folks in this. We've been like that. One of the first people to die for the Revolutionary War was a black man named Crispus Attucks. This is our country too, and low key we fight with white folk all the time, but you don't need to see brothers are not going back to Africa like that. We're not going back, are we? Have we left? Let me just keep it 100 with you. Let's just be honest with you. Typically, if there's a war to fight, black men and black women have overwhelmingly showed up to take up arms to defend this country. I'm just keeping it 100. Look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers. And so when I tell you that we are just as vested in the well-being of this country as anybody else, that's just it. But the bottom line is we don't care about your tears. Okay? We don't. And as much as we are compassionate and caring people here in the United States, at this point, it's you doing too much, as they say in the hood. You came here doing too much. You over here sitting in people's houses. There's a lot of these Venezuelan migrants that come and sitting in folks' houses, and they are sexually essaying these young girls. I mean, this is what we're looking at. And so all Americans feel the same way about immigrants coming to this country. And again, nobody has a problem with people coming in the right way. We have a problem with people showing up at our border, hopping over our boundaries, showing up in our cities, taking up space. The price of food is high. The price of everything is high. And then you got the nerve to be in the country promoting and waving your country's ideologies and belief system. That's not what we want. You see? And so it's a complicated story, but nevertheless, again, I had some folk who were supposed to come in here. They didn't show up. I'm gonna just say, I'm trying to get them to, come on in, and I don't see where they are. Where are my critics at? I want the people who want to push back, because I know it's a lot of y'all that don't agree with this. I really want to see Donald Trump do well. I want to see him do well because I live here. My family lives here. I want to see our American president do well. And then my man said, the CA 007 said, yeah, them tears, we've been crying for years, and now you turn and learn about Chuck. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And it's not heartless, because every other country enforces its borders. So why can't we? Okay. Now, the other thing is, and I found this very interesting, man. They are now going to be designating the Mexican drug cartels as terrorists. I mean, think about that. What does that mean? Where all my D-boys at? Where all you guys is out there selling weed on the side? Where y'all at? Once you get labeled, and it doesn't even matter if you're a cartel member. Once you hit that T list, anybody affiliated with you, that means the dope boy in San Diego, the dope boy in Chicago that picks up your plug that's associated with the cartel, and you are now all your property can be taken. You can be detained without due process, no habeas corpus. This is what this means. So, back in the day, drug dealing was just like a pastime. Okay? Something you do, you get away with, you do a little crime. They are now leveling up. You are now an enemy of the United States. It's no longer a law enforcement issue. This is you are an enemy of the United States. Do you understand what that means? All you brothers out there who are dibbling and dabbling, you making that small money. You made you a couple $1 million, and they can take it all back at any time. The businesses you own, the houses you own, the cars you own, your bank accounts can be seized. I mean, I'm talking about on the tail end of the people who make money. I'm not talking about the ones down in Mexico making the millions and millions of dollars. They literally are going to be targeted by special forces. But I'm talking about you all who are affiliated with that Mexican drug cartel. even up here, even if you're just the dude who gets the money, who gets the dope, who gets the money way up the chain, it's a done deal, man. And largely because we have hundreds of thousands of Americans who are dying every year from drug overdoses. The game has changed. I remember back in the day, we used to have crackheads. Somebody type crackhead in the chat, but we had lots of crackheads. Crackheads serve a purpose in the community. You know what I'm saying? You crackhead to recycle a VCR from somebody's house a couple of blocks over. Yeah, let me get that VCR for $5 or $10. You know, crackhead was functional. I'm just keeping it real. The crackhead was functional. You had situations where people were on heroin for years. You understand? The heroin, you can go to work. You might have tracks in your arms, but you going to work and you functional. You can't function with meth. You understand? Methamphetamines is killing folk. And then you got that other additive that they put in, I forget what it's called. But that other additive, it's killing people. So this is no longer just a drug problem. You are messing with the pillars of the United States by killing its people. Mostly our young people. You making them unproductive. People are addicted to this dope. Again, it's a different game. And so now you're not dealing with law enforcement. It's fentanyl. That's what it is. That fentanyl is killing folk. So you're no longer just dealing with law enforcement at this point. At this point, you are dealing with the American government. You are dealing with the American military and all its might. Do you think they won't start sending drone strikes? This is what's going to happen. Okay, this is where we at right now. And I wouldn't want to be y'all. I suggest y'all get another profession. Now, the other thing that's going away is no more DEI hiring. Somebody type DEI. Now, some of y'all are like, well, that's good for us. Not necessarily. I want you to hear this sister right here speak about DEI. This is an elder. I don't know who she is. Some of y'all might know who she is, but y'all check out what she says, and then we'll digest what she said. Let's take a listen to this, man. DE for you, everybody who says DEI is a good thing. Listen to this.
Obama,
listen.
Democratic Party, they promote black women, particularly if she's a lesbian.
Yes.
They promote black women who are not even qualified. We have seen with the diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is really racism, which is really saying, well, black people just, darn it, they're not smart enough, so we have to give them handouts. And you're pushing black women who are not qualified. Dr. Claudine Gay of Harvard.
Yes.
Now,
I mean, I want you to think about what the sister says, man. She says, this elder woman says, you're pushing back black women who are not even qualified. Okay? Did you get a qualified person to do it, or did you just get a qualified person within the confines of what you're looking for? So you were looking for a lesbian black woman who is middle-aged, okay, to do this job. All right, well, what about there's someone who is not a lesbian, who is not middle-aged, but can do the job better? Why not choose that person? Let's let the best people do the job. Would you want somebody flying a plane that has you and your whole family on it just because they were chosen from a group of lesbian black women who are middle-aged? Or would you want the best pilot to pilot your plane with your family on it? I would think the latter is it makes more sense for intelligent people. Keep listening.
now the head of diversity at Harvard is also accused, if I have it correctly, of plagiarism. And we'll get to Fannie Willis, who was elected as a DA in Fulton County, Georgia, primarily because she's black, in my opinion. And we've seen case after case. But the black man, where is he? That's done deliberately. And it started really.
You hear that? What they said was they saying black men.
They don't know who their fathers are.
Black men, DEI, they'll choose DEI, and that gives them a reason to purposely exclude black men. So DEI is not your friend, brothers. And for you well-thinking sisters out there, you don't want qualified black men to be looked over for jobs that they would otherwise have because some woman who happens to be black says she's a lesbian and they can fill out 3 slots for that. I just want you to think about that, fam. Okay, that's not helpful for the black community at all. Keep listening. For none of us, thoughtful, well-thinking black people who want to see black people prosper, that's not good for any of us. Keep listening.
And it started really in the 60s where the Democrats pushed policy, right, that said to women, particularly black women, you don't need a man in the home. We'll give you more money if you're single. And I grew up in the 70s and I saw the effects. I saw it in the 80s, the broken home. Now it's more dysfunctional home where you have some women with 8 children by 5 different fathers. Exactly. They don't know who their fathers are.
She's telling the truth. She's telling the truth. 8 children by 5 different. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? No lie. Y'all get my super chats up, man. We almost an hour in here. I got 5 super chats, man. Y'all make sure y'all pay me for my time. You got to pay for quality. All right, keep listening.
In and out, it has almost destroyed the black community, but they're doing it in a different way now. They're promoting black women and want black men to be down here. And I think black men sense that, and they know that Trump relates to them. They relate to Trump very well. The evil Barack Obama.
Speaking of Barack Obama, look how they treated Barack Obama the other day when he got
big boost right now.
his ass.
Time and how sort of MAGA world is watching. Big boost right now, as you can imagine. I don't know if you guys can hear it over my mic, but
boy, is that striking.
Former President Obama, former President Obama, getting a resounding, as we would say in New York, a Bronx cheer here.
A Bronx cheer. They booed this man. This man went from being,
as we would say in New York, a Bronx cheer here.
Respected.
Time and how sort of MAGA world is watching. Big boost right now, as you can imagine. I don't know if you guys can hear it over my mic, but
boy, is that striking.
Former President Obama, former President Obama, getting a resounding.
The minute Barack Obama turned his back on black people, and especially recently, when he decided it was a good idea to go out and chastise black men publicly.
Big boost right now.
Basically, that was blood in the water for the white folks.
Big boost right now, as you can imagine.
The only thing that saves you
I don't know if you guys can hear it
is
over
the
my
cover
mic,
of your
but
people.
Boy, is that
You
striking.
understand what I'm saying? That's why you never turn your back on your people. I never expect anybody to turn their back on their people, whoever they are. You see what I mean? And so now you got a situation where he's on the outs, you're powerless, you're uninfluenced, your woman leaving you. Big shoulder Michelle is leaving him now. Apparently, she don't want to show. Shout out to my man TIQS. I got you, my bad. You're cooking that good Texas barbecue. Yeah, man, I'm doing my thing down here, man. Y'all make sure y'all get some super chats up. Show me some love. Y'all act like y'all miss me when I'm gone. I see the comments section. I've been taking a couple months off, and then I come back. And then y'all just out here playing. I got to make that real money. I got to make some lawyer money, man. I can't be on the internet messing with y'all all day, man. I do my best, but y'all got to help supplement Uncle D's income. I need to get my medicine. I need to get my medicine. Anyway, let's keep listening to the song.
Oh yeah, for the globalists, elite. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Barack Obama was a plant.
Yes. He was. And now they want to put Michelle.
Barack Obama was a plant. He did nothing for the black community.
Nobody even knows who he is.
Did he ever come back to Chicago with this much crime to talk to young black men? No. He doesn't give a damn.
He doesn't.
Oh.
He doesn't.
Barack Obama is a curse on this nation. So is Joe Biden.
I think it's the black. Yes.
We provide the.
Well, I mean, that's very emotional in what she's saying, but when we look back, who brought in all this DEI, not DEI, but who brought in all this transgenderism? Who opened the floodgates for that? It was Barack Obama. Okay? Anytime white folks want to do some dirt, right? That left side, that anytime they want, all they have to do is put up a black face, because any pushback you push against that, we can't do it as black people, because then we consider house N-words and sellouts, because we don't want to push back. We going against the black man, and the white folks can't do it because they're considered to be racist if they push back against bad policies, because the person signing it in the law or pushing it is a black man. We all know that this transgender experiment, all these different, wasn't good. Okay? We've had gay people and men who wanted to dress in dresses and girls who think they're boys in this country since the onset. Okay, but we didn't have to codify it in law. It was literally don't ask, don't tell. It wasn't a problem. We dealt with it. And so now we're in a situation where you got people who've mutilated themselves and removed their genitals, operations, and all that sort of stuff. That's a curse. And you got kids out here confused. They don't know what gender they are. It's just confusion. Yes, Barack Obama was a curse on this country, his administration and what the things that he pushed. He should have stayed focused on what he needed to stay focused on when he was a young community advocate. And that's do what he can for the Black community, but make sure the country stays out of war, make sure the finances are good. But all that extra stuff was a problem. And I'm glad people are finally speaking on it. A lot of people, and then the cold part about Barack Obama would have you audited if you were his enemy. He would send the IRS on people. And I know he put the IRS on some people I know because he didn't like what they were saying. So, that era is over. I'm glad he exposed himself for who he was. And that's just really just, a man who was really out for his own. I'd rather have good Americans, people who love this country, in charge. Because at the end, it is what it is. Shout out to my man, 24 Jam Kid. Thank you for the information. Again, I don't really care who you vote for. I'm not in the business of telling grown-ups who to vote for. I tell you, I'm voting for my interest, and I want you to vote for your interest. That's what I tell you guys all the time. But let's keep listening to the elder. Let's keep
money for his Marxist socialist programs, pushing abortion in Africa and other things. He didn't care about us.
Nope.
He didn't care. That gave rise to Trump.
Yep.
Because Trump actually listened to us. He actually cares. Many of us, it was bad. At least Bill Clinton BS and said, I feel your pain. Yeah. But at least he said it. Barack Obama didn't give a damn. He should have never been elected. Before he was elected in 2000, if he got elected in 2008, my mother sent, may God rest her soul, letters to Black churches warning them about Barack Obama, saying he was so ungodly. I said, Mom, that's harsh. She wrote it anyway.
Just think about it. We elected a cocaine addicted, possibly closeted gay dude to be the president just because he kind of looked like us. I hope identity politics are dead, fam. I just want the best person to be in charge, and I know people are like, well, and they looking at Trump's cabinet right now. This is Trump's current cabinet. You got the people who are in the identity politics. They're like, oh my God, there's no representation. Look at my man. Y'all got to come over to my page, man. Y'all got to come over to. This is why I keep it popular. Look at the cabinet. Not one Black woman. You got one little Black dude over here in the corner. Look, one little chocolate drop way in the corner over there. Look, white, Asian, white. I don't know what that is. Maybe white, white, Cuban, white, Indian, white. I don't know about JFK. He got a good tan. He got that bronze tan. We're going to call him, we'll say he's beige and then white. You understand me? But my thing is, I don't care what color they are, man. As long as they love this country, all right? As long as they are putting America first, somebody type America first in the chat room. We need some America first. I'm really tired of people talking bad about the United States of America. We have to live here, okay? And the cold part about it is when they see Americans talking bad about America, guess what? You got these other people talking bad about America. There's no way in hell that Europeans should have anything bad to say about America. We done got y'all asses, saved y'all asses in 2 world wars, okay, and kept Russia at bay for damn near half a decade. You better not ever say nothing bad about the United States. We have men who have went overseas and fought and saved your ass to the tunes of hundreds of thousands multiple times. The only thing keeping China and Russia off your ass, okay, is the United States of America. So y'all need to chill out with that, man. And you folk over here who talk, look, America's not perfect. No country is, but I dare you to go anywhere else that's better, especially black folks. Go find another country, even in Africa, where you get treated better than you get treated here. Because see, I know enough about South America and Central America. They just whoop your ass. They're gonna whoop your ass. They're gonna take your stuff. You got to pay the police off every day. Your daughters are not safe. Your sons are not safe. Nothing is safe. Your property could be stolen. Look what's going on in Africa right now. You buy something in Nigeria and you buy it from the wrong chief. And the next thing you know, your property is your gates and buildings are being bulldozed down because the chief didn't give you approval. You understand what I'm saying? I remember a couple years ago, all them sisters were going over there to Ghana and Nigeria, and they end up missing. They come back with dots on both of their eyes. Boop, boop. I had to come back to Chicago. Ugh. I didn't know. Yeah. You are not gonna get treated. Go ahead and go to one of those Arab countries. Y'all like Dubai? Go and take your butt over there to Dubai. Remember that lady who got arrested? She got in a car accident. This is a couple years ago. Got in a car accident. And they took her and put her in jail because she said something flippant to the rental car agent. That's how you get. I dare you go anywhere else in the world, black folks, and tell me where you have more rights than you have here. There isn't any place you can go. You can't even go to the Caribbean. They'll whoop your butt. Go down to Jamaica. Put your little rainbow flag on and jump down and go down to Jamrock. The crowd will whoop your butt. And nothing's going to do it. Nobody's going to do anything about it. So y'all better start appreciating where you are. I'm just saying. Most of you all were born here, you raised here, and you're going to die here. So this is your country. You might as well just go ahead and embrace it. Again, like I said, I'm interested in the best person being in charge. I want whoever's going to get this gas prices low. Okay? Whoever's going to make the price of groceries go down. Whoever's going to get rid of this crime that's going on in New York and Chicago. That's what I want. Those are the people that I want to be in charge. I don't give a damn if they purple, if they Martians. You understand me? Now, it'd be great if they were wonderful, fair-minded human beings. But at the end of the day, I'm just into winning. I want to win. I want the people around me to win. I want America to win. This is where I'm at. You understand? And hopefully you all can take a mature attitude. We've tried the identity politics. We got a Barack Obama for 8 years. Y'all promised us he's going to do something in his second term. Didn't do a damn thing. Okay? Nothing. All right? Now, where we at? We in another situation. All right? You got... Now y'all mad because there's no representation. But let's just see if we can win with this group. Anyway, let's finish looking at the elder sister, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But y'all get my super chats up, man. And shout out to the folk out here who is contributing to the Cash App. Shout out to Fanita, I think Fianetta. That's a beautiful name. Shout out to Fianetta. Mohammed, thank you so much. AB, Dr. Johnson, and Mr. Wingate, thank you so much, man. Y'all keep this Cash App is rolling across the bottom. Let's finish listening to the elder sisters.
And everything my mother said, may God rest her soul, was right. He hates this country, but he wants to live off the fat of the land. Mm-hmm. Like the founders of Black Lives Matter, they don't give a damn about black people. They didn't have to spend one dime to help build a black business. But these lesbians, they bought homes in predominantly white neighborhoods. Yes. See, they say they hate capitalism, but they love to use us and live off of capitalism while they spout an anti-God, anti-America rhetoric.
So I just they got you in a
black community. They put us in danger. No, not all black people are drug dealers or this or that, but you're harming the average black who lives in an area that is high crime. When you talk about defund the police.
Yeah.
And we saw the other day in New York City where you had illegals beating up NYPD officers. That went viral. But under Trump, something like that would have been dealt with immediately. He would have spoken out immediately. Mm-hmm. Alvin Bragg, from what I understand, helped them to get out.
No bail. No.
Yeah.
They got
no bail. Yeah. No bail. There is a concern among Democrats.
Shout out to my man, Simeon Toka. I want y'all to think about this, man. What's the quickest way to get black people to move out of their communities? Right? What's the quickest way to get black people to move out of their communities? Raise the price of everything, increase the crime, make the place uninhabitable. right? Think about that. So if you let crime run rampant in the community, most black folks be like, I can't live in it. That's why most of us moved out the ghetto, right? Isn't that why we moved out the ghetto? Because it was horrible crime. Think about that. Now, who benefits from that? A lot of these white liberals, a lot of these yuppies, as soon as you move your black behind out the ghetto, here they come in with the regentrification. And what's the quickest way to increase the crime rate? Remove all the cops. You get you blacks, you don't need police. Let's defund the police. They're horrible to you. And then you get rid of all the cops. And now the thuggies and the gangsters and the criminals take over. And because you don't want to go toe to toe with them and dropping hot shells on them with the bleaky, is that what you youngsters say, with the bleaky? Y'all, you like, let me get up out of here, man. I'm gonna just go get me apartments in the suburbs somewhere. And now, guess what? A couple of years later, the place goes down and folk come in with these high-rise apartment complex and these mixed community centers and whatnot. And they tricked you. Y'all been duped. You've been hoodwinked. These liberals are not your friend. Again, I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for, who not to vote for. In this past election, I voted for Democrats. I voted for Republicans. Just so happened I had to vote. I voted for the Republican president and on the national level. But I just want you to think about that. If you really start thinking deep about what's going on in the plays, they're playing chess on you, and they've been playing chess on you, and folk are just starting to figure it out. Where my critics at? I need the critics to come in today. The podcast is live. I'd love for you all. I want to hear. I am not rude, okay? I am not going to be mean to you. I will hear you out. I'm going to ask you some tough questions. But I want to hear those people who don't like Trump. You don't like Trump. You're mad at everything. I want to talk to you. Come on in and talk to me. Let's finish with
that the vote for Trump is hardening within the black community. It's solidifying. It's not just a passing fancy. Mm-hmm. And I think Democrats, both black and white, liberals, they're panicking. Some of the reasons why blacks, particularly black men, are drawn to Trump is that he puts America first.
Put America first, yeah.
He puts Americans first. We see that Joe Biden and his administration, they're now battling with the state of Texas to cut down the barbed wire. We, ladies and gentlemen, have essentially an invasion of our country going on.
Agreed.
Black people are waking up. All you have to do, I would recommend, if you want verification, go on YouTube. Black residents in Chicago. Type in Chicago.
Go on YouTube. You see where it's at? We here. We on YouTube talking every day.
Chicago, black people, immigrants. They are fed up. Black people are now feeling the effects. Yeah. You know, when these liberal mayors, we want to be a sanctuary city, New York, LA, even Newark, New Jersey. We want to be a sanctuary city. Wow. But you see, they don't put the illegals where Nancy Pelosi lives. No. Where the elite live. They put them with us.
Man, let me explain something to you all, and I've said this on numerous occasions. The reason that black folks have changed, see, these liberals and these Democrats, they're still running off a playbook from damn near 100 years ago. They're running off a playbook from 1955 and 1960. They are running off a playbook from back when black folks were fresh off the plantations of the South and just had moved to these inner city ghettos, and the Great Migration had taken place. They moved to places like Detroit, Oakland, Chicago, and we didn't have anything. We didn't really have education like that. There was some enclaves of black people who were successful in places like Chicago, but we didn't have anything. The vast majority of black people, to the tune of 60%, lived below the poverty line. We were poor. Now, and I did this broadcast a couple years back. You guys remember when I broke the news and explained to you all that 60% of black men are either rich, upper middle class, or middle class at this time? What that means is our financial status has changed significantly. We are back to the situation that we were in as a group, where we were before black folks start moving north from the South. We are where we were in 1890. We are where we were in places like Detroit, where they had these enclaves and these nice black folk who lived well and were educated. This is where we are now. And so because we have a vested interest, a financial interest in this country, we have houses, we got cars, we got kids who are, you know, nothing's perfect, but we got kids who are doing well, either in college, the military, they have plans for themselves, they have lives that they want to live. We have a vested interest in this country. And so you can't come in here and start shipping immigrants and folk and dropping them off in our community like it's 1960. We are not going to be tied to you like that. And see, a lot of Latino people and Asian people and immigrants is like, how can black people be against us like that? All you've been through? Yeah, we've been through it. Somebody type "been through." Somebody, I'm gonna try to give y'all an explanation of when black folks say we've been through. When we say been, we've been through that. That means we did that and we done with it. We been did that. We've been through that. We did the poverty. We built ourselves up from nothing, and now we were somewhere where we actually have something to fight for. And that's our piece of the American dream. And what we're not going to do is have you come over here using our parks and our resources and our Social Security and burning it up after you just came over here. You just walked up here from the southern border and got a free ride to Chicago and Detroit on behalf of the Texas state of Texas taxpayers who sent you that bus ticket. No, we've been through that. We did our time. We did our time. We came together. We built schools. We built universities. We built colleges. We built churches. We built communities. We built ourselves up. Now, that doesn't mean all of us are on the same footing, but hell, 60% of black men, and that includes some black women too, because they're attached to those black men, are doing pretty damn good for ourselves. And the other 40%, a lot of them are children and old people. And people who are unemployable because of the game and the way things are situated, like they got felonies and whatnot, so they're underemployed. That does not mean they're not making a few dollars. So what I'm trying to explain you to folk is black people have a lot to lose in this situation. We got a lot to lose, and we don't want folk coming over here. It's not the same situation. Now look, the link is in the chat room. Anybody who wants to come in and chop it up with me. But it's a lot of folk who feel the same way. Look, man, let me tell you something, man. Like I said when I started this broadcast, Trump can't win for losing. I mean, he can't win for losing. Nothing he does is good enough. And there's a sister right here who pointed that out. Listen to what she said.
Donald Trump, president. I don't talk politics, so I'm not going to discuss politics. But Donald Trump cannot catch a break.
Nope.
He just can't win for losing. Now, everybody's in an uproar about Snoop Dogg and Nelly and performing at President Donald Trump inauguration. But had Trump not invited nobody black to perform at his inauguration, then it would have been an uproar like, oh, see how he care about black people? He didn't invite nobody black to perform.
Now, how would y'all have felt? And again, the link is in the chat room. Anybody who wants to come in and chop it up with me. Again, I had sent this email out to some folk, and I don't see them here. You know, I'd like to hear what they have to say and let y'all talk to them. Let them talk to the crowd. And get my super chats up too. Get my super chats. Be at 9 super chats. I'm trying to get to 20, but 10 is a win. I need one more super chat to get me to 10. Y'all take care of Uncle D. But keep listening.
But now somebody black, he invited them and they performing. Now y'all mad because they performing for him. I'm confused.
How would you feel if Trump didn't invite any? All he just got, you know, Led Zeppelin or what is it? Some of these old rockers are up there. No black people. You'd feel like, oh, you don't like us. And now when he invites, I mean, you got the black band from the blackest state in America, Mississippi. Okay. You got Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, and Super Voices Man, Superman. I don't know the boy name. I mean, you got all. Why are you mad? Why y'all finding reasons to be mad? You want us all to boycott the president of the United States? How is that in our interest as black people to boycott? Huh? Shout out to my man, Black Free Thinker. Thank you so much. He says, salute to the sister operating in objective reality. We need more of them. Brothers too. This is not agenda specific. Nah, I'm going to be honest with you, man. The gender war is like, in my opinion, that negotiation is probably over. And the reason it's over is because the environment is changing. You got Donald Trump. I mean, think about it. If a mother wants to put the father on child support, now she can no longer claim the child on the taxes. That's going to be hard on them. They're going to have to talk. You see what I'm saying? Only the father can. I mean, that's godly. You can't, it ain't a gender war if you don't have two people who are equally matched. He got the money and the power. She got to talk to him. You understand what I'm saying? Ladies, if y'all want to come in and chop it up, you're welcome to come in too. But fellas, I'd love to have y'all come in and chop it up with me too. Let's finish listening to what the sister said. And anybody who wants to come in, you got to cam up, man.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Cam on up.
When you become perfect, then you can talk about your president and judge your president. Yeah. Until then, Donald Trump is who God has selected and who America has selected to be our president right now. And that's just what it is. And can't nobody do anything about it. Not catch a break.
He's the president. Like, get over it.
And can't nobody do anything about it. All that we can do is pray and trust God that God will lead him into making the correct decisions that is in the favor of our country. That's all that we can do. Y'all leave in the comments. Let me see how y'all feel.
Yeah, and the thing is, man, I truly believe that Donald Trump, if he wasn't a patriot before, he's a patriot now because he sees how important his job is. The man traveled all around the country talking to people, you know what I mean? And you got these folk who are they're just naturally angry with him just because he's a Republican. Now, mind you, they wasn't mad at him back when he was a Democrat. They wasn't mad at him back in the day when he was, hanging out with all the rappers. That's not a problem. It's now that he's the second two-term Republican, they're mad at him, man. So don't y'all get caught up into that. And here's the thing, man, and I was gonna say this to the critics. Look, I want y'all to listen to me. Let me get one more super chat. Well, actually, we got 10. Shout out. Well, you didn't get 10. We need another super chat. Now, listen to me, and I want y'all to hear something, man. We are day one. We are day one in the Donald Trump's presidency. And y'all are already just going ballistic. Every day, you're going to do this to yourself every day. You're going to go psycho nuts every day. He didn't put his hand on the Bible. Elon Musk did the Hitler sign. Every day, you're going to give yourself a stroke. You gonna raise your temperature every day and find a reason to be mad at this man every day for the next 4 years. Shout out to my man Urban Eagle. That's crazy to me. What is the worst he gonna do? Lower your gas prices and send some immigrants home who not supposed to be here? You mad at that? Look, you got to calm down. Somebody type calm down in the chat room. Calm down. There's plenty of us that didn't like the fact that crazy Joe Biden. I'm sitting here holding my breath from November all the way up into January 20th. Please don't let this fool do nothing crazy. Please don't. He's sending money to Ukraine. They telling Ukraine, yeah, y'all go ahead and bomb Russia now. Y'all go ahead, use our missiles and bomb the interior. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why can't we speed this up? You got a man who is talking to himself. All right, he's lashing out at the press. He crazy as hell. And y'all was about to elect this man again for the president of the United States for another term. And he's 81. and crazy. I'm just saying. The man pardoned his whole family. His whole family was in on it. He pardoned the sister, the brother, the sister's husband, the brother's wife. He already pardoned his son. He had to go. Oh, you mad because we didn't elect Kamala Harris? She don't even like black people. All you black people, she don't even like black people. She made a business of putting black people in jail for the kids not showing up and laughed about it. She specifically said, I'm not going to do anything for black people. How can you expect me to do anything for black people? This is a woman who went to a HBCU, who faked black for like 20 or 30 years of her life, and then until it became inconvenient. This is who and she said she's not going to do anything for black people. And y'all wanted us to be so weak as to support somebody like that. This woman has relatives in Jamaica who are proud former slave owners of Irish and Indian descent. And this is the person y'all mad that we didn't vote for? Shh. Come on, man. Come on, let's just keep it 100. You know there's only one president in the United States who is not descended from slave owners? I'll give you one guess. Here, I'll give you a hint. It's not Barack Obama. His family on his mother's side owned slaves. I'll give you one guess. There's only one president of the United States who is not a slave, who is not descended from slave owners. I'll give you one guess. Donald John Trump. Isn't that something? Donald John Trump is the only American president that's not descended from slave owners, man. Ain't that something? Look, you can say what you want to say. You can be mad all you want to be mad, but crashing out every day over little things that you see happening, perceived disrespects by the president. He don't even know you, okay? He don't even know you. He don't know you. It's not personal. You understand what I'm saying? I would suggest y'all tone it down. It'll be plenty of other things for you to worry about and be concerned about over the next 4 years, as opposed to being concerned about what Donald Trump is doing and what he said and how he speaks. Just look forward to lower gas prices. Look forward to cheaper groceries. Okay, that's what I want you to look forward to. I want you to look forward to the things that the man said he was going to. God damn it, we got a Kappa Alpha side. Look, man, let me turn this camera off. Don't throw up your filthy fingers up here. Put your filthy fingers down, okay? Mr. K,
I knew you were going to do that, Uncle D.
Why you do and be decent with people, and you come in with that. Just kidding, brother. Welcome to the broadcast, man. Welcome to the broadcast. Brother, look, man, I'm looking for critics. I don't know if you're a critic or not. I just saw you down there. What would you like to add to the conversation? Or maybe you want to tell me about something I said that's just totally out of pocket. I want to hear what you got to say, because I don't see where I'm wrong yet, but I'm willing to listen. Shout out to my man Kenneth McDonald. Jason, the floor is yours, sir. Go ahead.
Can you hear me okay, Uncle D?
Yeah, man, I can hear you fine, brother. Talk to me, man. What's going on?
Well, first of all, I'm a moderator on your channel, and I've been a moderator for a while, so I definitely support the work.
All right.
I continue to be thankful for the friendship that you had with Kevin Samuels. I was in the mixed group and ran that for a little bit as well. Okay. You know, in terms of criticisms, I would caution people to see how some things play out first. Before we begin to criticize all the executive orders that have been put in place. Let me say this, and it may be a moot point. Vice President Harris was not the first Black person running for president in this past election. She wasn't the first Greek. It was actually Cornel West, and the streets were silent when it came to supporting that. So of all the critics saying, especially against Black men, You should be voting for a person of color. I'm like, where were y'all when Cornel West was running? And he's an alpha.
But I know, but see, the problem is, brother, Cornel West is married to a white woman, okay? And in the black community, a black man that's married to a white woman.
Oh, you compromise. You're a compromised black man if you married to a white woman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, irrespective of the fact that Kamala Harris had a whole white man, somebody typed Doug in the chat room, that didn't count. Okay, that don't matter. Okay, because the black woman can do what she want to do. All right, because representation is more important than loyalty to the group, mind you. So that's why we couldn't vote. We couldn't publicly support Cornel West because he got that white woman in. Okay, so you know the rules. You know how this goes. Serena Williams, okay. Tiger Woods, no. Okay, you know how this goes. Go ahead and finish. I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oftentimes in our community, black women marrying outside their race is a level up. Black men marrying outside their race is a compromised black man.
Yeah,
a black man who does it. Yeah. So
shout out to all the white women. Hey, look. I think it's a beautiful white woman. I don't personally date you, but I just some gorgeous white women out there. Let me tell you something. Beautiful, fine white women out there. I kind of date. I like women of African descent. That's just me. I tell the brothers all the time, my preference for you is to marry women of African descent. But at the end of the day, if you find somebody you love and make you happy, cool, go right on ahead. But go ahead, brother. I had to do that. Go ahead.
They quick reminder say your mama black. I'm like, okay, but I'm not marrying my mama. But I think, sir, that we have to understand at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, it's still no president is going to change your life for the entirety of your life.
They ain't gonna change.
It's still up to us. It's still up to us as individuals. It's still up to us, whether you're Kappa, Alpha, Delta, whatever, non-Greek, doesn't matter. It's still up to us to make the right decisions for our community. And what I encourage people is to double down on your local legislation. Your community.
To put that up there for them, yeah. But anyway, go ahead, brother. Double down on your local.
I saw you put that up there.
We gotta be a little bit ignorant on the show, man. So go ahead.
Hey, congrats. I think you all got married, or she passed the bar. I've been trying to keep up with.
Oh yeah. You can be a prosecutor. She's gonna be prosecutor. Baby, put him in jail. Put him in jail. Put him in jail. Shit. Go ahead.
She's beautiful, man. Your family's beautiful. I really applaud how your son is getting big, man. I see him. Look, he's tall and bench pressing. I said he get that. Wow.
Look at my boy. Look at my handsome son right there. Look at my boy. He's about 6'1" now and on his way to college. Look at my handsome son out there, man.
And he's already working in your law firm.
Damn right. Kids don't. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We can have all this snow out here today. You'll be at the job today. But anyway, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I mean, besides, you were saying something really intelligent, and I want to let you go ahead and get back to speaking intelligent. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, man. Hey, this is your channel, King. But yeah, at beginning, middle, and end of the day, it's still up to you as an individual to create the kind of life that you want, to use the resources around you that you want. Democrats, get over it. I'm personally independent. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I live in the state of North Carolina, so it's an open ballot state. But it surprises me how many people don't know who's on their city council, who's their mayor, who's making the decisions that have the most immediate impact on your day-to-day life. It's your local government. So how active are you there? Start there. Yeah. Start being.
And they don't look, brother. Jason, these people don't want to be active. They just want to complain.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of these folk who are complaining about Trump, they are not even registered voters. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to think about that. They just want to regulate you. They want to tell you what to do. You see, they want to tell you what to do and what not to do because they want to see if they can do it. I want you to understand who you're dealing with. You're dealing with people, anybody that's so hell-bent on telling you what you should and shouldn't do, they have no control over their own life.
I will agree with you. I will agree with you from a political strategy standpoint. the Democrats are definitely still using a very old playbook. It's a very old playbook, and the time has come, decades have come, and what was we're seeing the fruits that it bared, and it bore a lot of confusion in some cases. And the Democrats have done some great things too, but overall, the playbook is out of date. The country wants leadership that's going to come in, make decisions, make them quickly, move forward intelligently. Not just flying off the handle, but they want a president that stands their ground. And unfortunately, the Democrats need to really, as a party, need to do some soul searching, need to do some reorganizing there, because a lot of people thought that Jeffries would run for president.
Right. Well, brother, I want to hit on some other points too. I mentioned earlier, and see, you're a very educated, dignified brother. I need one of our more ignorant brothers to come on here to speak to the people. But I'm just not saying it ignorant, but they have a lack of control over what they say, and they'll say it like it is. I alluded earlier, okay, that black people are not as friendly and understanding as they think we should be, considering our past.
Yeah.
They expect us, and I see some folk chiming in. You gotta cam up. I gotta make sure you're not a troll. So if you're waiting to come in, you gotta cam up. I want to be able to see your face because we don't want trolls in here. But the bottom line is they can't understand why black folks are so heartless. Why could you not empathize with these poor immigrant people who are crying because their little app got canceled? And oh my God, and don't you love your kids? How dare you? How dare you say the mother can't get all the money from the IRS anymore? How dare you say that?
You wilding out, man.
You thought you don't love your mama. You see what I'm saying? So my whole point is this, man, and I know I don't want you to lose your job. I don't want you to lose your job. But if you can speak on behalf of black people, the real one, and say, because look, in our private conversations amongst each other.
Keep going, Uncle D. Someone's at my door. I'll be right back. Keep going. I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
And what I was telling Jason is, irrespective of what we have gone through as a people, we are in it for ourselves too. You see what I mean? We don't want folk coming up to this country, jumping in line, and then what's going on in Chicago just kind of it flies in our face. You see what I mean? You got these folks out here who have jumped the line and taken over black communities that we've had for literally decades, and laid them out and got them good and voted for them, and now all of a sudden you are brought up here from a foreign country with a different culture. Yeah, that makes black people mad, and that's what you see happening. Anybody else who wants to come in, you're welcome to come in. You got to cam up, man. We can't have people who are not cammed up, because if you're not cammed up, I don't know what you're doing behind that black screen, and I want to see what you're doing, and I need to make sure that you're a real person and not some sort of infiltrator or something like that. So if you want to come in, you're welcome to come in. The link is in the chat room. Go ahead, Brother Jason. Please finish what you were saying.
Yeah, what this election brought to light to a lot of black men is how quickly their own communities turn against them.
Yeah, man.
It was really eye-opening, and it devalued them as decision-making beings.
Yep.
It devalued them as free-thinking beings. And it was like almost the slave master didn't have to be out there telling you what to do, because your own people in your own house were telling you what you should do and ranking your blackness, ranking your commitment to the community based on your vote.
Ooh, and you hadn't even voted yet. That's the cold part of it. You just thinking about it. Shout out, thanks, Jason. Let me get my man, Mr. Ronell. Brother, what would you like to add to the conversation? Are you a critic? Look, I'm looking for critics. I want to hear the critics tell me why I'm wrong. But first of all, brother, welcome to the broadcast. What are your thoughts on this conversation, if you will? And don't you ain't got to be a critic just to be a critic. Just tell them how you feel. I want to hear what you got to say. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, brother, this got to give the man a chance to see what he's going to do. He's already been elected, so you can't cry over spilled milk. You know, the man has been elected, so we're going to have to see what he.
We lost Brother Ronell. That's all right. He got that blackout going. We'll see you in a minute, brother. But I see what he was saying. Give him a chance first.
Give him a chance. We're gonna have to see how things play out. Now, I do disagree with the executive order of just clearing the slate with pardons to about 1,500 of the individuals involved in that, because I'm a firm believer that you don't act like that on the grounds of our government. That cannot be tolerated. So I highly disagree with that. And one of them was the leader of what was the group called
Proud Boys,
which are
22 years. They were gonna give them 22 years for that. You think
really?
22? You think? I mean, look, I get trespassing is a bad thing. I know. I get what you're saying. Assault and battery is a bad thing. But 22 years, you got people locked up for 4 years for fighting with a cop. If a black man was fighting with a cop and they locked him up for 4 years, we'd be like, hold on, that ain't even fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I get it.
20
that's
years.
A long time.
Yeah, that's the stretch. That's the extreme stretch of what the sentencing allow under the law for that particular infraction. But 1,500.
Y'all look like y'all could be cousins. Look, y'all two right now. You and look, y'all got the same hat on. Hold on a minute. Let me get shout out to man. TIQ is there where a lot of black families divided during Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays due to the voting choices. It was a sad to see. Yeah, it was, man. It was. But look, y'all, let me say something.
Hey, we doing our thing, man. We doing our thing, girl.
It is what it is.
Y'all about the same color. Y'all got the same beard. That's what I'm talking about. We got some uniformity going on. But anyway, Slim, welcome back, baby. What's up, baby? Look, how you doing?
What's up, Uncle D?
I'm good, man.
Like
look, how you doing? Hold on. Look.
I'm repping our father, so you know.
Iota in the house?
Yeah, that's what's up.
Oh no. I gotta do better than that. You know, I'm just kidding, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to all you brothers out there, man. Look, Slim, talk to me, man. I don't like the way they treated Nelly. I don't like the way they treated Snoop and all these other brothers. Because at the end of the day, whether you like their music or not, whether you like what they rap about or not, symbolically, these are black men being lynched by the public. And it's so easy to do. You see what I mean? Michelle Crissette, she did it in 2016 for Donald Trump. Yeah, she kind of lost it, but they didn't publicly roast her like that. You see what I'm saying? Joe Biden is was the most racist politician that I've ever encountered, and we are still enduring his legacy in the form of the 1994 Biden bill, which was signed into law as a 95 crime bill. We're still dealing with that. That destroyed a generation of fathers and communities. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it took people and put them in prison for decades and decades for small crimes, relatively speaking. You understand what I'm saying, Slim?
I do.
Nobody jumped on those black performers for being on his side. But go ahead, brother. The floor is yours, Slim.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I've been online giving folks grief ever since this election result since last year. Now I've definitely lost a couple of friends along the way, and I'm okay with that. You know, I say let me just allow them their grieving time. They'll be back. But ultimately, what we're looking at is an examination of the parties that have been running our cities our entire lives, and we're looking at the devastation, the non-progress, the corruption that's been happening in our own cities, and we're saying, hey, look, we just want to ask a couple questions. And you ask a couple questions, all of a sudden you become this
every racist stereotype. You should see what these threads look like, Uncle D. You would think you're talking to stone cold racists, and it's your own people. And you try to explain it to them, and they got every negative thing to say about you. So I stay in the fight though. I don't run from no smoke. So just like you said, like Nelly had a good retort to what was going on, but I'm like, our culture is backward. We celebrate all the wrong things. People will get mad at Nelly for going and go singing here, but they still playing "Step in the Name of Love," right? Like we talk about drill rappers and people saying "rest in peace" to this person who was like a serial murderer, and we okay with that thing, right? We put our women on television to do these ratchet television shows, and that's their public image all over the world. And they're not canceling those folks. But if you just go happen to perform a song, you public enemy number one, and the Crips need to drop Snoop. But I'm like, you ain't canceling him for being a Crip? Like, what are we doing here?
Didn't he murder somebody or something back in the day?
He did. Apparently it was self-defense, but still, like, this is a domestic terrorist organization according to the United States government, and you didn't say, oh, we don't need that in our community. We need safe communities. You didn't cancel them then, but I want to perform a song. I don't feel the way that y'all used to feel no more. I took a look at both sides and say, well, they both the same, same bird, two different wings. I'm gonna vote my interest, but according to them, you have to be on code. And if you're not on code, then you every worst thing in the book. You're a white supremacist, you're a Trump supporter. Man, and I supported the brother who's an alpha as well, Cornel West. That was where my vote went. So, and I still get smoked. And no one's ever asked me who I voted for. They just think I voted for Trump.
Right.
And I would second that too. People ask, you vote for Vice President Harris? I said no. They said, oh, you want those Trump? I said no. I voted for Cornel West. I was
wasting your vote then. You wasting
I voted for Cornel West. I'll say it publicly. Jason voted for Cornel West and Alpha. I'm a Kappa.
Me too. I'm Iota. So,
boy, I'm in horrible company. Look at this. I'm just kidding with y'all, man. This is a little fraternal banter amongst the brothers, man. But shout out to Eric Powell. We finally have a real president back in the White House. You brothers hit some real good points, but let me give you a little. And you guys are obviously younger than I am. At a certain point, you just stop giving a crap. I don't care what they think anymore. Because what you realize is you don't need them, okay? You got family members that fall out with you. If they fall out with you behind that, imagine if something real happened to you. They're not your real family. They were looking for a reason to fall out with you and be mad. I don't care if it's your mom. Some people look for a reason to be angry with you. And if they can't actually find a reason, they'll make up one. So good riddance to them. You see what I mean? You free thinking Black men have the right to do what is in your best interest. You are no longer tied to a community that may or may not have your back, your best interest in hand. But as men, you have to be, you have to do what's in your best interest. Man, my son told me something interesting the other day. My two sons, as y'all see, they're getting big. Older son to be a grown 18-year-old man and 18 in 6 months. And I told him, I said, son, he said, Dad, you're the only one that calls me a grown man. I'm like, yeah. I said, as far as I'm concerned, you've been grown since you're 13 or 14. You know, at the end of the day, you already are who you are. There's no more raising you. Yeah, you can come to me if you want something, if you need some advice, but you're a grown man. But see, the reason I treat you like a grown man and I call you a grown man, unlike your mother and your relatives, is because I'm going to put the responsibilities of a grown man on you. And if I treat you like a grown man and you begin to appreciate the respect that you receive as a grown man, then you will be a better man. You'll know how to deal with responsibility. You'll be able to make decisions on your own. And so that's why I treat you like a grown man. But see, in the Black community, we have a tendency to, what's the word I'm looking for? Infantilize Black men. And so they never grow up. You try to make a decision on your own, they shame you into not having that decision. So then why even make a decision if mama and big mama and grandmama and wife and uncle and whoever else is going to tell me how to think anyway? No, you brothers have to claim your manhood. You have to claim the autonomy that goes along with it. And anybody that don't like it, man, two birds up to them. You understand what I'm saying? Then that doesn't mean go out and disrespect people, disrespect your family, but just go off and be like, I'm going to do it my own way. You guys are fraternity guys. And so let me tell you a little story. So I pledged. I was in law school, okay, and I pledged underground, and then thank God I was able to get into a local graduate chapter. But I pledged underground, and so as you guys know, the only way to become a pro fight is to pledge another group. So we had another guy come in and he wanted to pledge, and the brothers in the law school has decided, well, we not gonna let brother. It's too much heat. Brother Sperling, we brought you in. You was different. You and your little fat line brother. They call us the number 10 because I look like a 1, and my little fat line brother looked like a 0. And I was tall and skinny, and he was short and round, so we was the number 10 underground. But the bottom line is, I said, well, shit, I'm gonna do it anyway. You see what I mean? So I ended up pledging the brother in my apartment, and I took him through the process, and I had some brothers from undergrad because I was at Southern University. We took them, and we beyond the statute of limitations, so it's all good. I'm not gonna go to jail. But the bottom line is, I told them, and then when they found out, damn, you do it, then they was like, well, I guess we're gonna join in. Like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm not gonna let you stop me from getting my status. This might be the last time I can do that. I don't want to be a neo forever. You see what I mean? And so what I'm telling you, brothers, and same.
I remember Pro Fight. I remember.
Yeah. And you guys, there was a book many years ago, I'm sure most of you have heard of, called Roots. If you read the first part of Roots, it talks about how the young man, Kunta Kinte, had to become a man. And he went off with the men and he learned the masculine traits and how to be a man. And when he came back, his grandma was trying to sun him down. And she said, no, I'm a man. I'm a man. You see what I mean? Same thing when we talk about our fraternity. You're going to be, even after you cross the burning sands and you get your letters, you'll be fetching beer and cooking barbecue as long as you allow them to make you fetch beer and cook barbecue.
I've done it. You had to go out and get a bag of ice and you had to bring it back, or yeah.
I didn't play that rule. I'll whoop your ass. As soon as I got my letters, like, I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm a big 6'4" dude.
I say you were a big guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass, and then we're gonna see. Yeah, you might have more time I'm gonna beat your ass, and then we'll see who's gonna get the beer. You see what I mean? It's like at that point, I'm the yard boss, and this is the penitentiary. I'm gonna slap. I'm slapping people. Bam! You see what I'm saying? And so you gotta claim your manhood. And see, that's what I want you black men to do. Be bold about it. Be bold about it. Don't hide from it. Yeah, I voted for Trump. Yeah, I voted for Cornel West. I did it. What you gonna do about it? Like, so ain't nothing you can do. What anything you could have done to me, you would have done already. You see what I'm saying? I am not gonna compromise my manhood or my opinions or my strongly held beliefs to make somebody feel happy. You will bend to my will. You see what I mean? And that's what Jesus was talking. I'm gonna go there. I'm about to go there. I'm gonna get up on my.
Gotta go there.
When the Lord talks about ye are all gods, he does not mean you are the ultimate God in heaven. He means you are gods of your little universe. Anything you can conceive in your universe, you should want to be the God over that. Your family, your household, your job, your education, you Lord over that. And you bend that into your will. You create with your mind and your actions what you want. I don't give a damn what my 60, 70-year-old grandma has to say about who I voted for. I damn sure don't care about my mama, ex-wife, baby mama, or kids. This is what I do because it's in my best interest. If you don't like it, there's the front door. You can hit it. You see what I'm saying?
Well, if you don't like it, you have a vote.
Go ahead.
Use your vote. If you don't like it, use your vote.
You don't like it, yeah. Don't tell me.
Let me say this, the way we're demonstrating, we have an alpha, kappa, iota.
Mm-hmm.
There's banter between us. We'll poke and things like that. But I always love getting around other brothers from other fraternities because we can disagree, we can pick each other, but there's a respect there. You see what I'm saying? There's a respect there that we leave with. And I wish the black community would replicate that in some way, that we can be on different sides of the fence, different opinions, different organizations, but let's have some intelligent conversations and let's walk away there with a mutual respect.
Well, see, the problem is, brother, and this is why most folk don't understand Black Greek letter fraternities. They don't understand. What's that? Y'all not Greek? No, we're not saying we Greek. It's called a Greek letter. Would you rather us use Roman numerals? That's fraternity 1788. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
They want us to use hieroglyphics.
Yeah,
Just the uninitiated speaking on things that they have no idea. I heard people throwing us in with the boule and this. I'm like, y'all have no idea what y'all talking about.
Man, it's like, but see, here's the thing. That's about control.
Yeah.
They just say that to try to shame you and control you. And it all comes, a lot of these so-called pro-blacks, I'm probably more pro want to see black people do better than any other person on the internet. I just don't tell you what to do. I'm not telling you, we need to move to Ghana and get in a relationship and try to create trade with our brothers in Africa. I don't tell you that. I say, look, man, get a job, join the military, figure out what you're going to do. If you want to have a family, cool. If you don't, I believe in you having freedom because that's what our ancestors fought for. See, I preach a freedom doctrine. You are a free man to do what the hell you want to do. And I trust that free-thinking men will do what's in their best interest, and free-thinking men become like-minded in that regard. They want to take care of their families, they want to take care of their health, they want to take care of themselves. But see, the problem is, man, you got people who want to control you. And see, the most dangerous thing in America is a free-thinking black man who begins to do what is in his own self-interest. A lot of black women don't like that because if they can't put that, you know how you put that bridle on that horse and that mule and you ride them, they can't put that bridle on that hits you up to that wagon and get you to pull them through life. You see what I mean? That means they actually have to work on their own. They have to get it on their own. They want to say we're strong, independent, don't need a man, but then they turn around and want a man to help take care of them kids that they end up having to complain when they don't. Otherwise, they get the government. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. And what's interesting about that, Unc, is that some of the leaders that we held throughout Black history became those leaders because they were free thinking. Booker T. Washington was free thinking. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. I mean, the list goes on. Founders of our fraternities were free thinking.
Yeah.
You know, when people on the Greek tip, I'm like, they were college students on college campuses. These were the type of organizations that were established to bring a level of prestige and a level of belonging. They weren't establishing sewing committees and all these other kind of random things that were Greek lettered fraternities. So they established their own Greek lettered fraternity. That's the campus culture, right?
Yeah, I don't want to get off into too much of that, but the bottom line is for you all who don't know anything about Greek letter fraternities, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated was formed on Cornell at Cornell University in upstate New York. There's a lot of racism going on at that time. I don't want to go too deep into it, but the bottom line is, the founders of my fraternities came together because they needed some sort of bond, more than just we black. We came together, we like-minded, we weeded out the ones who weren't like-minded. We focused on being excellent at what we do, staying out of trouble, and community service. In other words, giving back, because giving back helps you deal with the issues that you have to deal with. When you begin to give and give and give, it makes the issues that you're dealing with in your personal life seem smaller. So the racism that they had to deal with, which they were forced to deal with at their university, they said, well, you know what? We just gonna do good. You see what I mean? But
let's look at the root of it. These are black men. What happens when black men come together and become of one mind and of one purpose? They establish great things. So get past the Greek letter. Look at what happened. Young black men were creative. They were powerful. I say that to all the fraternity founders, but maybe fraternities is an example of how black men, even at a young age, can build something that's going to be a benefit to the community and be long lasting.
I mean, see, here's the problem. I love my fraternity. I love my fraternity brothers, but I'm a black man first. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and so, I want to see all of us succeed. I want to see all of those who want to. I don't particularly care if you're a plumber, electrician, a truck driver, whoever you are. I just want to see you succeed and find happiness in this world, because when you got a happy black man living next to you, you don't have to worry about getting shot or killed or carjacked by his children, because he's going to keep that in line. So whatever it takes to get you there. But back to the conversation that we have today, okay? What we talk about today is, what advice do you have to these folks who are crashing out every time they see Donald Trump scratch his nose with the wrong finger in their mind, and then they lose it. What do you think is going to happen if they keep losing it every day for the next 4 years? We'll start with Slim, and then we'll go back to Jason.
So I've been noticing since they lost the election, it's like literal everyday posting on some of these socially democratic put together pages, and I just go on there and roast them. I'm like, look, man, like when you lose, you don't get the microphone, you get the headphones, right? Y'all are way too loud to have lost this thing. And to me, if you're not going to learn the lessons that got you here, losing all those swing states, then go ahead. You've got my permission to keep losing and keep going down that path. There needs to be some introspection. But what I would say to my brothers who decided to vote their own interest, continue to do so. Speak your mind. You don't have to get into these long conversations like I do with folks, because I don't mind roasting folks. But you don't necessarily have to do that. But stand your ground. Say, look, there's some things I like over here that make sense to me in my household, and that's the direction I'm going to go in. There's no such thing as a black community where men and black women don't get along and we don't have the same political expedience about ourselves. So why am I going to behold myself to something at 80% clip that's not going to yield me anything except a bunch of foreigners who got their own issues with colorism and racism out there that are looking to replace us? And if you don't see it, that doesn't mean that because of my color being the same as yours, that I'm just going to go with you. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to do this for me, but I know in the long run, it's going to help us because maybe you don't see something that I see. And this hopefully, as time goes on, more people will start to feel more comfortable to come over to not necessarily just automatically giving their vote to somebody, but actually put their boots on the ground, put their line in the sand and say, you're going to give us something, which is the reason why Kamala stopped talking all that I'm black thing and started saying, oh, there's some people who are family and some people who aren't family, because we knew that you weren't black. We made her do that, right? So they listening to us. They may not necessarily follow our stance, but we made them do that, which is why she came up with this plan for black men, which really turned out to not be for black men. Why? Because they're hearing what we're saying over here. So there's
they're hearing us, man.
What people will say is, oh, you shouldn't challenge them. You shouldn't do this. You're just getting in the way. You're causing an impediment to our progress. I'm like, no, you need to challenge all sides to at least come to the table and say, what is it that this community needs? So I'm proud of black brothers for that, for being at least being vocal enough, even in our smaller numbers, to get that out there.
I'm proud of the brothers too, man. Big hand clap for the brothers. We got my man Jay McTowell. Look, I'd like to get we got 14 super chats. Let's try to get another 6. That'll put me at 20, and that'll be plenty. That'll be worth my time. I done stayed here about 45 minutes past the time I wanted to stay. We almost 2 miles in. I ran out of vinegar water, and my breath is hot. Anyway, my man Jay McTowell, welcome to the broadcast, brother. What would you like to add to this conversation? We are generally speaking about Donald Trump and his new policies got some people in the outrage, and they're trying to get black folks, black men specifically, trying to shame us back to, I guess, shame us into not liking him and not working with him. And my thing is like, he's the president. We live in the United States. Where you want us to go? You see what I mean? But anyway, Jay, man, the floor is yours, brother. What would you like to add? Go ahead, please.
Well, it just goes to show you that all the rights are just changing. Out of women's hands is going back into the men's hands now. So he's putting more money in our pockets now. All the immigrants and all that. He's not going to tax your check. He's not going to just make you work for basically all these liberals and these the LGBT community. Because that's really all Kamala Harris is worried about them. And he getting that about it. He getting that out of here. Now it's going to be 2 genders. It's only going to be 2. Right, he just worried about more the Americans, and that's why I don't see why he's shamed for that. Why is you shamed for worried about Americans? Why are we so worried about the illegals? So I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with making America great again, because making America great means I get more money in my pocket. Making America great means I get lower gas prices. I can take care of my family. That's what it means to me. Jason, brother, look, man, let's go a couple more rounds, man. What else would you like to add, brother? I want to hear what else you guys have to say. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so I guess the advice the question that you put before me and Slim, my advice would be stop complaining and get to work. Number one. Number two, if you spend your time complaining, you're putting blinders on so you can't see all the opportunity that's still around you. You still have opportunities to make money, go to school, level up, invest, change your community. So if you're going to spend your time complaining, that means you're not spending time working. In the Black community, I heard it say when one of the statues for the Confederate in South Carolina came down, and one of the arguments was, well, why do you have a statue up for a loser, right? They paint those people, those proponents of the Confederate South, as you still crying over spilled milk. You lost, get over it. And there's truth to that. Take your own medicine. You lost, get over it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to continue to erect these idols and continue to point and bash and things like that. Because I have to tell you, if truly Trump is all that you say that he is, meaning the negative things, then you need to be getting to work on building a fortress around what you're trying to protect. If you truly believe that he's that, then you need to get to work and stop complaining. Put your energies towards that. Because he's in office. I didn't vote for him. Slim didn't vote for him. He's in office. You can't change that. So you say your piece, get to work. But don't ever allow something like the presidency to divide and put enmity between you and your neighbor. Because you got to live with your neighbor every day.
Good point.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, man. We about to wrap this thing up, man. Jason Brown, thank you so much. Shout out to all the good brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi, Slim Shady. Shout out to all the Iotas. Jay Midtown, shout out to all the Midtowns. We can say that now. You know, the rules have been lifted, man. I look forward to seeing what we do, brother. I appreciate you brothers expressing your freedom. I think this election more than anything else was Black men asserting themselves on a political sense, saying, nah, we're going to do what we want to do. And that's the first time I've seen that in my lifetime. We are literally openly saying, no, we're going to vote. We're going to do what's in our best interest to the tune of 20% of us, which is a huge number. It only takes 10% to make a sea change. We got 20%. So, and the other thing is, I'm just want to give a shout out to all the fellas who've been putting in work on YouTube. All my guys, shout out to Deacon Salted Balls. He is back. Shout out to everybody, man.
Balls. What's up, Noob?
Yeah, we ain't seen him in a minute, but he back, man. But
Salty Balls is a Noob too.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know that. Yeah, man. But what I'm saying is, we asserted ourselves, and there's no going back. The cat's out the bag. The brothers are saying, "Nah, we're gonna do what's in our best interest," and there's really nothing they can do about it. Cause see, they lost us. They told us they didn't need a man. Okay, you don't need this man's vote either. You see what I mean? You don't need this man's political support. You don't want us to be fathers, but you want our vote. Oh no, that's not gonna happen. So it's no going back. They're gonna be sisters that come along with us. They're gonna be brothers that fight again. It is what it is. But I'll tell you guys all the time: you're free men. Do what's in your best interest. I don't care who you vote for. I just want you to vote your best interest, even if it's a guess. Some of you all are super educated, brilliant men, and you dissect things and you figure out you base that on your vote. Other brothers just follow their gut feeling. I'm cool with that, man. I just want you to know that you're not slaves. You're not enslaved to anybody. And our ancestors fought for that. I take our freedom as men very seriously because we're the only group of men in this country who had to fight for our freedom as Black men. So y'all think about that. And I would never, ever, ever try to shame or guilt you or beat you or force you into doing something that's against your best interest, because then you're no longer free men. So let's let Donald Trump take out the trash, and we'll see what's happened. Either way, man, this is Uncle D. I love you guys, and as always say, man, I'm out.
Dennis Berlin Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe. you.